Greetings, my fellow freedom lovers, sovereign thinkers. Thank you for tuning to LL3-Podcast. My name is Craig, transmitting from the beautiful realms of planet Earth. Today's date is Sunday, April 13th, 2025. This is episode 1829. Protesters escorted out of county meeting for free speech. Before I proceed, you can find me on multiple social media sites and podcast channels. Just type in Look at Luck number 3, Look at Luck Roman number 3 with 3 eyes, or the Look at Luck Roman number 3 podcast. Furthermore, if you have any questions, comments, recommendations, all that good stuff, whatever you do, please use the quorum. You can hit me via email to ll3.podcast@proton.me. If you don't donate, go to paypal.me or cash.app/Look Luck number 3, or hit me at Steemit at LL number 3-podcast. Yeah, so it's been on and off, few minor issues here and there, but things are doing well in my end of the world. Hopefully everyone's having a great Sunday. It's beautiful outside right now. Sometimes a little bit chaotic, but it's okay. I can deal with it. It's very interesting what's been going on in Lake County, Florida. Oh, yeah. Okeechobee County, Florida. Forgive me for that error. There's a time when Warren Sapp got arrested for resisting arrest without violence or obstruction of justice. It got dropped. Now there's a $20 million lawsuit still pending. And there's other people who sued the county for slanderous and libelous remarks, including one doctor. She got a good chunk of change. And I was like watching some of the videos from these individuals, armed fishermen, and a few others. I could say in good faith, sometimes people's exhibitions could be better. However, they should not get tossed out of every meeting for speaking their mind, including people who live there, for goodness sakes. And I've been watching these videos, and I'm like, what the hell? These boss hogs, prima donnas, de factos think they're doing. It's not just from the county commissions themselves or the chairman, but rather the sheriff's office. Can we say the Good Old Boys Network or the wannabe mobsters in the hick town? It's sad because one of the great stories that came out of that area, the Lion's Paw, about a bunch of orphans going around, run away and doing a little exploring. Very good children's show. And a Florida folklore classical book. Yeah, you should look it up, The Lion's Paw. Maybe if you don't live in Florida or not, it was very cool, I can say. And I shared that with my friends of mine. They got children, and I recommended to them, and they're like, "Wow, man, my daughter and son fell in love with it. They cried." So it's like part of the history over there. And of course, the horrific event that happened in 1928, when the eye of the hurricane went through Lake Okeechobee and did a lot of damage on the lakeshore area. That's what they had to do. They had to build extra, infrastructure to protect it from the big surges. Yeah, 1928 Labor Day, 1928 Lake Okeechobee hurricane. They start naming them in 1950, just to give you a historical fact. So I was watching these videos, and I gotta say one thing, Chairman Houseleaf, man, unbelievable. Remember, when it comes to meetings, you're supposed to facilitate, not dictate. But based on the meetings I've been seeing there, he believes he's the captain of the ship, and the Okeechobee County shall revolve around me, right? Well, without further ado, I'm going to read an article on this. Like I was like, Mike Taylor from the Armed Fishermen on sharing this. And it came out on April 10th. Plus, it was updated. Protesters escorted out of county meeting by deputies. It's by Katrina Elskin. Editors note the article was updated April 11th with a response from Sheriff Noel Stevens, which there's some still investigation under him for some of his mischief, you can say. April 10th, Okeechobee County Commission meeting again drew out of county protesters, despite clarification that free speech in that meeting is limited to Okeechobee County issues. that come under the purview of the commission. Most of the free speech was taken up by people who want to comment about the sheriff's department. I could stand here all day and say how disappointed I am in the sheriff's department, said Ruby Minton. There's an innocent woman standing trial that stood up against her abusive husband. Commission Chair David Hazeliff, hope I pronounced his name correctly, advised her the commission has no jurisdiction over the sheriff or the courts, and she should take her complaint to the governor. She said she would. He asked if there are other comments. I was pulled over about 5 years ago by the sheriff's department. She began before Hazeliff stopped her again. Please keep it something we have jurisdiction over, he explained, giving roads, libraries, parks, and senior services as examples. It's pretty pathetic when you think about that, because when you start reading what they have to say about these counties, they got a lot more than just that. Spare me the moment. But I'll continue on. The roads are terrible. I just hit a pothole. It cost me $400, said Minton. Next speaker, Barry Rhodes, said he wished to speak on a senior issue. Noel Stephen put a hit on me, a contract on my life, he claimed. Hazeliff interrupted the speaker, to again explain that the commission has no authority over the sheriff. We have no jurisdiction, he stressed. Rhodes continued to complain about the sheriff's office, and after 2 warnings, Hazeliff asked the deputies to escort him out. "Ooh, big man! How masculine are you, sir?" A scuffle ensued when the man refused to go, with the other audience members trying to interfere with the deputies. One man was arrested. The next speaker, Mike Taylor, sang "Hush, Little Commissioners," tuned to the "Hush, Little Baby, Don't You Cry," and offered them pacifiers. Free speech is something that people can't grasp, he said. For 3 minutes, just let us speak. That's what public comment's about. Okay, and there's a couple of video links you can check out. One is article, and there's another one I'm going to share from the Armed Fisherman's YouTube account. So I'll continue on. Hazeliff again explained that the limit speech of the public comment period during the meeting is confined to issues under the purview of the county commission. I should have the right to address you on anything I want to address you on, stated another commenter, who was also asked to leave and did so with the stream of profanity. This is a public meeting, said a man wearing a yellow hat with a "Don't Tread on Me" logo. He started reading the statement about freedom of speech. Hazeliff stopped the speaker, reminding him comments were confined to something we have jurisdiction over. Last year, in the public comment period, was a local resident, and the commissioners listened intently to her. Douglas Park is a mess," said Emma Burr. "We need to clean up on the roads. People are cutting trees by putting them by the roads. You can't see them when you're driving down the road. There are houses that have junk everywhere," she added. "I also want to address drugs," she said. "I think it's time for something to be done. I am asking for some help. If you have to shut things down to clean it up," she added. "We're losing a whole generation of young people." She said the community committee is trying to help young people, raising money to help them go to college. The commission, the county staff agreed to work with her. Hazeliff apologized to the audience for the profane language used by some of the speakers. "I want to apologize to the community that we have these people come into our community and using this type of language. They don't have any respect," he said. Well, he's actually projecting that pretty well based on the videos I've seen. In a related matter, county attorneys Gemma Trozavia and Zachary Good recommended the commission adopt an ordinance related to trespass from public facilities for up to 2 years. So if you hurt their feelings, you redress the grievances, they could probably be there trespass from the facility for 2 years. Oh my goodness! Talk about usurping here, right? Because it goes a lot more further than what they want you to assume. All right. Trespass warnings are allowed under state law to protect and respond to a threat of public safety and to protect the public welfare, explained Trosivia. Well, if you're critical and making songs and telling them why they're not doing their job or not honoring their oath of office. Yeah, how is that a threat to the public? Oh my goodness, this is really like it is comical. But I'll continue on. The recommended people would provide procedural due process protection. It will be similar to a Palm Coast ordinance, which provides for trespass from public facilities for up to 2 years. The ordinance provides a procedure for appealing a trespass warning to a special magistrate. No, it should be to a judge. Article 1, Section 22 of the Florida Constitution. Okay? The ordinance will be advertised for discussion at the next meeting. The commission also discussed change to administrative regulation Regulation 3.09 to allow public hearings to be held at the start of the meeting, move the open public comment period to follow the advertised public hearings. County Administrator Deborah Manzo said the first public hearing on the agenda will be advertised to start at 9 a.m. State law does not require a public comment period to be a very start of the meeting, but does prohibit the public comment from being moved to the last item on the agenda. At every county commission meeting since February 13th, the public comment periods have been taken up by protesters from other counties who complain about the Okeechobee County Sheriff's Office in regard to 2024 arrest of Warren Sapp on a misdemeanor charge of obstruction of justice. The charges were later dropped. Lake Okeechobee News reached out to Sheriff Noel Stephen for comment, who responded, "It saddens me that a few grown adults choose to spread slander and untruths in an effort to voice their concerns or complaints rather than take appropriate actions. This is a sad reflection of some in our society. The silent majority have grown weary and negativity and will eventually have enough. Although most of these attacks are against me personally and professionally, I feel that my position is to take some of that, but my staff, my family, and my community should not be subject to the same. These individuals are very disrespectful, rude, and unjust, completely irrational. As Peter said, do not repay evil with evil or insult with insult." How cute is that? And I'll be very frank. When it comes to public comment, it is part of their jurisdiction, including if you criticize the sheriffs and anything that's considered tyranny in Okeechobee County. And the commissioners have the right to hear it without interrupting. See, what happened is, based on these videos, even people who live there, they'd be treated with derision, contempt, disrespect. This is my way or the highway for the chairman Hazelliff. And everyone and the people, the other board members stood there and watched, and the police, oh yeah, handcuff them. They offended me. Grow up. This is nothing. The rate things are going right now, it could be a lot worse. Hopefully a lot of you individuals in there, the geniuses, study or examine the Battle of Athens, Tennessee. It was mainly on election fraud, but a lot of corruption, harassing people. You can say it relates to what your predicament is right now. You better start reading that, because that can blow back in your face and get the same treatment that happened on August 1st and 2nd of 1946. Read a lot about it, and it wasn't pretty. Here's another thing these geniuses, the elected servants of Okeechobee County, need to start reading their Florida Constitution. Article 1, Section 1, political power. All political power is inherent in the people. The enunciations are here are certain rights should not be construed to deny or impair others retained by the people. We'll hit 2 basic rights. All natural persons, free and female alike, are equal before the law and have inalienable rights, among which are the right to enjoy and defend life and liberty, to pursue happiness, to be awarded for the industry, and to acquire, possess, and protect property. No person shall be deprived of any right because of race, religion, national origin, or physical disability. So, That's being deprived, based on what I've witnessed in Okeechobee County's commission's meeting. How about freedom of speech and press? Section 4. Every person may write and publish sentiments on all subjects, but shall be responsible for the abuse of that right. No law shall be passed to restrain or abridge the liberty of speech or of the press. Hopefully, you geniuses in there can comprehend. Not obtuse, no bickering, defenseless rhetoric. It's on his face. In all criminal prosecution and civil action for defamation, the truth may be given in this evidence if the matter charged as defamatory is true and was published with good motives. The party shall be acquitted and exonerated. We'll hit Section 5. The people shall have the right to peaceably to assemble, to instruct their representatives, and to petition for redress of grievances. So what they're doing under public comment is honored under Article 1, Section 5 of the Florida Constitution. No ends, no ifs or buts. And we'll hit 24, public access. And as it reads here, every person has the right to inspect or copy any public record or may receive in connection with the official business of any public body, officer, or employee of the state or person acting on behalf, with respect to records exempted pursuant to this section or specifically made confidential by this Constitution. And I'll give you a whole rundown, even on B, about meetings and all that. Self-executing at C. So, so it's a public facility. They're not threatening anyone. Why? Because your feelings got hurt? Don't get me wrong. Like I said before, I'm not going to have to use that form of exhibition like they did. One thing these politicians hate, folks, when you utilize their language. That's what hurts them the most. And what happened to some of the elderly in there? I think it was Mitten, I think her name is. That is wrong. Respect your elders, dummy. You're just nothing more than a genius think you're smarter than everybody else, but you're not. Minton, yes, Miss Minton. That was wrong. What happened to her? You ought to be ashamed of yourself. This is why, in due time, this thing can backfire on you. And let me just let you, folks, I'm gonna let these folks know one thing for sure. Article 2, Section 5 is for the deputies, the sheriffs, and all that, and all of them. All right, we'll just continue on here. Section 5, holding public office. And it will be, I'll just hit B. No, you know what? Let me see something here. Sorry about that. Hit 2, Section 5, Article 2, Section 5, A and B. This is A. No person holding any office of emolument under any foreign government or civil office of emolument under the United States or any other state shall hold any office of honors or of emolument under the government of the state. No person shall hold at the same time more than one office under the government of the state and the counties and municipalities therein, except that a notary or military officer may hold another office, and any officer may be member of the Constitution Revision Commission, Taxation and Budget Reform Commission, Constitutional Convention, or statutory body having only advisory powers. Each state and county officer, before entering upon the duties of the office, shall give bonds as required by law and shall swear or affirm. I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support, protect, and defend the Constitution and the government of the United States and of the state of Florida that I am duly qualified to hold office under the Constitution of the state, and that I will well and faithfully perform the duties of the title of office on which I am now about to enter. So help me God, and thereafter shall devote personal attention to the duties of office and continue in office until a successor qualifies. Okay. Self-explanatory, right? There's no excuses by any means. This is why I just find it very comical when you have a bunch of folks out there believe they're above their oath of office. One thing we got to start looking at, my friends, they are nothing without us. Declaration of Rights, Article 1 on the Florida Constitution means government keep out. Not compromise, not the world should revolve around you. You can harass or usurp anyone you want. It is unacceptable. And in addition, it could be considered treason by putting an act of war on the people of the state of Florida and the people of Okeechobee County. So let that sink in, right? Let that sink in. That's Article 1, Section 20, by the way, of the Florida Constitution. And what's interesting about it on treason, it's interesting law. I'm just like, I should have just done this. I should have done this right around now. Yeah, 876. Chapter 876. Point 32. Treason. Treason against the state shall consist only in levying war against the same or in hurting the enemy thereof or giving them aid and comfort. Whoever commits treason in the state shall be guilty of a felony of the first degree. Punishable provided in as Florida Statute 775.082. Let's just see what that has to say here. Penalties are specifically sentencing structure, mandatory minimum sentence for certain reoffenders previously released in prison. Okay, so you can be thrown in prison for this, of course. Let's see what 83 has to say on this, right? Let's just see what 83 has to say on this. Real curious on treason. 775.83. And this one here, a person who has been convicted of the offense in a capital felony may be sentenced to a fine, addition, and any punishment described on 775.802. Where specifically authorized by the statute, should be sentenced in 7782. A person who has been convicted. Okay, give you a whole rundown on that. Yeah, so it's a serious offense. Treason, right? What is the... Let's go 84 for a moment. 775.84. Violent criminals, habitual offenders, all that. Okay, gives you a whole rundown. That's for violent criminals and all that. But definitely, based on this, you can serve life in prison, right? For treason. So think about that, folks. It's not a game. It's not a real pretty game to play. All right, so what does it say here about treason? Let me see here. Okay. Penalties, this is 77.82. This is 1A. Persons who have been convicted of a capital offense shall be punished by death if the proceeding held to determine sentence according to the procedure set forth in Florida Statute 921.141. The maximum is the death penalty according to this, right? Based on what they're saying about treason. But I could look a little bit further too under here. So think about that. So if you're going to usurp, it's called treason, my friend. start using that term. You can drive these people crazy. So what I will do, I'll definitely leave this statute here. There's links for the degrees and so forth and punishments. This came out in 2018. So interesting. 876 section 32. 876 section 32. So definitely check that out. And this is like the latest one, if I'm correct, all right? On treason, right? Yeah, let me see here. I'm just gonna do one more look here before I see anything here. Nope, that's really it. So the latest one is in 2018. So it's 876.32 under crimes. So yeah, it could be like I said, there are traitors when you think about it. So that would be it for the time being. I just want to make this one brief, and sorry if I've been haven't been doing a lot of shows. It's been real busy, but let that sink in for the people in the great state of Florida and beyond. So that will be it. Thank everyone for listening. Plus, feel free to download and share it throughout your social media networks. If you have any questions, comments, recommendation, all that good stuff, whatever you do, please use decorum. I'll leave the links on this, what I mentioned here on this episode. And if you want to contact me, hit me at LL3-Podcast at proton.me. If you want to donate, go to PayPal me or cash.app/look3. You can hit me at Steemit Crypto Love at LL3-Podcast. Once again, thank you for your time. Plus, always remember that demoniac resistance is healthy for the soul and can liberate humanity. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Keep on spreading the love. And may your guardian spirits be with you.